All right, so here's another chance to do a different choice, because I can pick Kelly this time, which I'm assuming will actually put us up on the upper part of the stadium, up in the seats, as opposed to down in the middle. Because that's where Kelly and Greg were last time, so... Or maybe we still go through the center just like before, except we just happen to have Kelly with us instead. I will have to say, though, Greg gets bonus points for being a photographer that doesn't use a camera strap. Camera straps are fucking bullshit. Which one do you want to look after? Ooh, I want to look after Kelly. You guys go to the field. Oh, yeah. I guess we do still go to the field. Okay. So that doesn't put us in a different part of this area. It just changes who's with us. I just noticed that says yummy barbecue. I would have commented on that before because that's really annoying. I really despise the word yummy. It's just childish and lame. Ow. Damn. And of course, Keith takes so long to recover, it ends up killing you anyway, which makes me wonder why it isn't just fatal when the beam hits me. And no, like, wiggling the stick or mashing buttons does not seem to make him recover any faster. Like, when he falls over, there's not like you can speed it up.
Over here!
I never would have deduced that. Thanks. Amazingly, you can actually recover from a falling animation by bracing, and somehow you teleport from being, like, doing a front flip to being on all fours. So you just, like, snap to the other animation. But you are actually able to, if you do it quickly enough, interrupt the falling animation, which doesn't really make sense, but it is nice you can do it. Because it saves you from having to watch his agonizingly long standing up animation. Alright, now we get to do this delightful, awkward combat part of the game. Well, stealth to avoid combat, rather. I'm not sure anything here is going to be really any different. Although, I am going to do, if it's not different, I'm going to do the choice that makes Kelly stay with me as opposed to going through the shutter. Because last time we were separated, so I'd like to see how it goes if you aren't. Okay. I think I have to do it. Ordinarily, I wouldn't, because this is a hugely, immensely dickish thing to do. And I want to point out that I didn't do it the first time I played it through the game. And I'm only doing it here, not because I'm a dick, but because I want to know what happens. Oh, well, it doesn't send her flying like it should. I'm both disappointed that it was such a minor reaction and also pleased that it wasn't as appropriately violent as it should be, because I would have felt really bad about that. Yeah, so they come in. The skip cutscene button works on that for some reason, so he gets radioed to go upstairs. And we have to watch every step of it. So I could skip the scene of them walking in the building, but I can't skip this. It's odd what the select button, which is called skip cutscenes in the settings, it's odd what it decides to work on and what it doesn't. I'm just out of curiosity. If I had not retrieved the jack from the building, because you don't have to, you can just go through. So I could theoretically not have the jack at this point, which means I would have to go this way, right? Oh, and then he just...
There he is!
I didn't realize he turned around that soon. I thought he was going to walk farther back.
There he is!
Oh, they see farther than I thought. Oh, we look so dorky with those glasses on. What is his actual route here? He walks forward, he scans, he walks a little farther forward, then turns around. And apparently doesn't go very far back. Yeah, he does that. And then, yeah, just comes back. Okay, so he comes back. Ooh. Man, you do not have much time on that. And there's a pickup arrow there, although there doesn't appear to be anything on the ground. And this doesn't go anywhere. There's no gap here. Pistol compass. Ooh. It's one of the better ones. And yeah, I guess the only thing there is the compass. So if I didn't have the jack here, what would I do? Or is it impossible to progress earlier in the game until you've retrieved the jack from the Christoph construction building? Because it doesn't feel like you'd have to. Do that. I'd like that little stagger Kelly does while you're dragging her along. Which is, of course, a great example of why dragging someone along by the hand is really not a good idea. We could both move faster and more easily if we weren't holding hands.
This is so messed up. Let's get out of here.
She's got the taco shits again. Can't just stand here. Let's go.
Hurry, get moving.
I'm angry. All right, so that shutter closes, and now we're stuck with her. So, oh my God, camera, please work with me here. Wouldn't be a problem if I could turn it myself. I know I've harped on that a lot, but it really is a severe problem. So now I have to do this part while holding someone and thus having terrible controls. Okay, there he's doing that. Which means he's coming this way now. Now he's coming this way. But I can't actually see exactly where he is.
There he is!
This is made arbitrarily difficult by the fact that you won't let me look where I need to fucking look, cunts.
There he is!
And again, he wasn't as far as I thought. I feel like I'm standing there forever and he's still right there. This was the one part of the game I legitimately didn't like the first time through, and the second time through, it's pissing me off much more. Mostly because it's a huge waste of time. And it also doesn't just make any sense at all. With these guys pacing back and forth in the same area, which is not something you would ever do if you were searching a building for someone. You wouldn't just walk back and forth in place. It doesn't make any sense. This isn't like, you know, usually when games do this, where guards have, like, patrols, it's because they're actually guards. And guards really do have patrols where, you know, they have a fixed route that it's their job to check in, like, a location they're securing. But these aren't guards patrolling a locked location. These are guys actively trying to find us. So the whole fixed patrol thing ceases to make any sense at all, other than just being contrived for the sake of the game. We go this way. Camera angle sucks. We go up the down escalator, because we're rebels.
Get in!
Oh, and then she just goes through that one.
Hey, hurry!
And we split up anyway? Because now it's going to close on me because he stood there for no reason. Oh, so you split up anyway. Okay. So I made that harder for myself for no reason because you ultimately split up for the next part anyway. And because I've never used the flashlight before, let's just go ahead and use it just to see what it does. Has full battery. Oh. Okay, that's an interesting effect. It does actually just emit a cone, and it does seem to travel a decent distance. It's not like your typical video game flashlight that stops existing after 6 feet. It does still stop existing because it's not reaching the back wall here. So it doesn't have, obviously, anywhere near the range a real flashlight does, where even a fairly basic one can easily travel, you know, a few hundred meters, which is a lot more than this one's going. Although the weird thing is, it's not actually helping. Because I can, well, first of all, I can easily see everything around me anyway. But even the parts that it's illuminating don't look brighter, they just look like they now have an overlay on them. It's not actually illuminating. It's just putting an overlaid effect on top of the geometry. But it still looks... Like, do you know what I mean? It looks like you have a dark image that you've then put something white on top of. It doesn't look like... I mean, it still looks like the image behind it is dark. Which I guess is why they made it so you can easily see, because if you actually needed the flashlight, it wouldn't help you because it doesn't illuminate. And of course I unequipped it there because I know this guy shows up. Alright, I'm curious here if I could just sprint across. I've done it more now than the first time, where I was actually kind of being careful the first time, but now I'm just kind of sprinting flagrantly because, yeah, it doesn't seem to make a difference.
Over here.
Over here. I'm not scared. Kelly, you're safe. Okay. I'm not sure that's really the correct response to that. Let's meet at... we're still doing that let's meet at get interrupted thing. Which pisses me off now just as much as it did the first time. I don't know why he's doing this sidling thing when there's tons of room between these shelves. We could just be facing forward. Oh no, he spotted me. Only this time I'm allowed to dodge the missiles. Or rockets, excuse me. So if I could dodge them here, why can't I dodge them any other time he sees me?
Over here! Up there! Above you!
Oh hey, she actually said that in a way that made sense.
I'll be right there!
Now, take a shot. Nope, nope, okay, thanks for waiting. And that was as trivial as ever. Now we get to do this nonsense again. I still can't even begin to fathom what's happening here. Falls through the helicopter, which does explode the first time the pillar hits it. Well, not first time, the time the pillar hits it, which also just clips through the floor, by the way. But then it's still intact, even though a pillar just fell through it and it blew up. And then it inexplicably blows up a second time much later. I don't even know what the developers were thinking when they made it happen that way. Like, surely after you, as a developer of this game, after you made that sequence, surely you noticed it looked absolutely terrible, and you'd go, ooh, that made no sense, let's change that. That's even accepting the fact that they made it that way in the first place, which even that I have a very hard time accepting because it's so illogical, it's not even how you would think to do it. I wonder if Jason's okay. I mean, everyone else could be fucked for all I care. I only care about Jason. Oh, she took her hoodie off. Why? You probably would have wanted that. It might get cold again, you never know.
Hey, Cal!
Jason?
Jason!
What are you doing? Why haven't you left yet?
Ugh,
There's a fence in the way.
I'm not here by choice, Jason.
That wizard did this to me, you know that.
Your boyfriend?
Ew, no. Have you seen his stupid hat?
It's not like that.
Why is she so concerned about Jason when they kind of hate each other, it seems? Look at this, they're just insulting each other.
Shut up! Like I have a choice.
So, like, she's super worried about Jason this whole time, and then they're horribly antagonistic to each other.
You're safe.
Which, to be fair, is a realistic thing for a young brother and sister, but, like, still, it's weird she cares so much then.
Just a second ago.
Maybe it's all a facade, and deep down they really do love each other.
Hey, that man.
Huh?
What man?
Oh.
See?
That is clearly a woman. In fact, that's clearly the woman that was stealing jewelry.
Probably. He's doing what the rescue team is telling me.
Why would the rescue team tell her to put her face against a wall, and why do you think that's a man?
Hurry up. If you miss this helicopter, you're really in trouble.
I know.
Later, sis.
Be sure to get on this time.
Okay.
God, I hate you so much. But be safe. And they're leaving without us because they're pricks. And with all the talk of suing in this game, you'd think someone would sue the rescue teams for leaving people behind. She has the taco shits again. Man, she might want to get that checked out. Speaking of taco shits, Albert went into the bathroom. Huh? Is that Jason? No, Jason was on the helicopter. Do you just think everyone is Jason? Ooh, it's a stealth helicopter. Did that make no noise last time? I mean, there's literally no sound. All right, here we have the nice plot dump scene where Terry reveals his incomprehensible motivation, where he gets revenge against the government by killing lots of innocent bystanders that had nothing to do with what he's mad about. Let's do a look around just because I didn't last time. You've coassed me enough trouble. Oh. We just get shot. All right. Wow. Oh, that's actually what I thought should have happened, but I didn't think it actually would.
Terry, I'm going to ask you again. Why did you do this?
Because it was there.
Revenge.
I wonder if Kelly has anything to say here.
Let's go.
Yeah, Kelly had absolutely nothing to say. I suppose it makes sense. She has no real connection to Terry. I'm curious how much they change in the final parts of this game. If anything. I mean, other than it's going to just be a couple lines different from Karen not being here. Because a lot of Kelly's dialogue so far is just identical to Karen's. They just have a different voice actor do it. So I have a feeling Kelly's just going to be weirdly quiet in the final scene. Alright, let's all just stand here. Tsunamis will run away if you don't show fear.
Hurry up!
Damn it, Greg, you doomed us. Now, is Kelly going to be smart and crawl in front of the pipe, or is she going to be as dumb as Karen and go across vertically, even though there's perfectly good cover there? She's going to be as dumb as Karen. Looks like. Yep, she's going to do it while standing. Just crawl. There's like perfectly good cover there. Although she ducked there a little bit. Poor Greg.
Crap. Leave me alone.
That's the best reaction to getting shot in the chest I have ever seen. I love it. Damn it. I forgot I needed to duck there. Oh my god, I was holding still and he still missed. That was amazing. I will never get over how bad a shot this guy is. It's so badly executed. Now we're up to the climactic scene. It was the best part of the game, as far as I'm concerned.
Ready to die for me? Something I want to ask.
How does he miss at that range?
Can't it wait?
Like he hit us in the arm? Did he intentionally hit us in the arm just to be like sadistic or something?
What is it? Hurry up!
Right here, he should just raise his gun and shoot Albert in the head in this wide shot here. That'd be the best thing ever.
What are you talking about? I thought you'd be beneficial to me. But you're just not cunning enough.
Yeah, he's so uncunning, he thought it was a great idea to confront someone who's a known killer and is also holding a gun. And didn't suspect that this would lead to him getting shot. Which, of course, it did. This is so fucking awesome. And Kelly had absolutely nothing to say. I'm still annoyed there isn't a triumphant musical sting there. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to turn the volume down before it does that horrible jagged cut to the other music. This music's kind of nice. What I want to do now is I'm actually going to go back through this, and I want to go back to that save, and try to find that file. I'm really annoyed that I missed it. I'm going to feel like a huge idiot when it's like in a really obvious spot. But I want to get that and give it to the doctor just to see if it makes any difference. And if it does, I will cut to that. And if it doesn't, I guess you won't see it. Kelly and I were rescued by helicopter. I'll write up my article as soon as we reach the mainland. There is so much to report. Rank B. Yep. Sucked. Compasses 20 out of 35. I'm still missing tons of them. All right, I'm going to save this to 3, because I think 2 is still a point at which I can get the file, I think. After running around for actually quite a while out there, because the only instructions Greg gave were in a locker near the entrance to the amusement park. And so I was looking out there, like that would be near the entrance. But no, it is in fact here. It's this structure by the first thing I noticed had seawater. So there's a bunch of lockers here. I have no clue which one it is. 41 through 60. Well, he didn't tell me the number, I don't think. The key does, though. Okay, 113. He went through 100, so over here should be... There we go. So now the key should work. Greg's files obtained. Excellent.
Did you see a little boy? He's my younger brother.
Wouldn't it be an amazing plot twist if this whole game she was trying to track down her brother just so she could murder him for something? Like she had some sort of grudge against him for something. And she's like, have you seen my brother? Have you seen my brother? And like every scene, was my brother here? And then when they finally meet up, she just blows his brains out. Now that's a plot twist. What do you want to do? Give file.
Bach asked me to give you this.
Oh, how's he doing? He said something about coming here.
I met him on the way here. He should be over on the west side of the island by now.
What? He's not coming?
Well, he's not here anyway.
You look a lot like Greg.
Well, we're cousins.
Ah.
We spent a lot of time together when we were younger.
And spending time together makes you look alike?
Places taking pictures, but has always come back safely.
Foreshadowing. If I told you right now he gets shot in the chest at the end of this game, would you believe me? Now I have no clue if that influences anything later in the game.
Doctor, the helicopter is here.
Although on this scene, I want to pick the other option.
Harry, please. Squeeze in tighter.
There is so much room on that helicopter.
I'm not leaving.
What are you saying? Get off.
I love how she runs away only to stop and turn back.
Jason.
Like, just run.
There's no time for this. You get on to.
I'm gonna board the helicopter. Are you ready to leave the island? Yes. Wow. Does it just let me? And we just disappear into the crowd. Holy crap, it actually lets me. Does this just end the game prematurely? I thought for sure they would come up with some thing that would prevent me from getting on board. Holy shit, and then the credits just roll. Wow. Wow, okay. That's horrifically anticlimactic, though obviously by design. Like, since I abandoned everyone like a dick, obviously it's an anticlimactic ending. I just left. The music here isn't triumphant or anything. Wow. I was actually pretty sure that they would do that scene kind of the same way, where the cop loses his mind and that whole altercation would have interrupted me getting on board. But wow, yeah, they just give you a premature ending there. It's always weird when games do that. When there's a way to end them before they actually end. You don't see that every day, so it's kind of cool to see that here. Ending 7, holy crap. Escaped the island on a rescue helicopter. Kelly, along with the officers Eric, Lou, and Jeff Burrows, remained behind. 7? How many endings are there? Goddamn, rank E. Yeah. I actually don't want to save there. Well, I'm gonna have to do that again, because I want to know if getting the files changes anything. So, I'll be back when something's different. All right. I want to know what happens.
Come on, get in. Are you alone?
Yes, I'm alone. Did you see anyone else? Nope. Can I just nope the fuck out of here and abandon everyone? Oh my god, there they are. In the distance. Oh, she's not even gonna shout. Oh, she's just gonna have the taco shits again, and we're gonna be really ashamed. Oh, no. Oh. That might actually be the most evil thing I have ever done on a video game. I genuinely feel really bad about that. But I wanted to know what happens. Damn. You can just bail. Ending 6. Escaped the island on a rescue boat. Unfortunately, Kelly and William are missing. I feel terrible, but at the same time, I'm happy to have made it off in one piece. Wow. And he will carry the crippling shame with him for the rest of his miserable, pathetic life. So we've seen what endings now? We've seen 1, 2, 7, and 6, I believe. So we have at least 3, 4, and 5 that we haven't seen. And 7 may not be the highest number. So 1 is finishing with Karen, 2 is finishing with Kelly, 7 was getting on the helicopter and leaving Kelly behind, and 6 was getting on that boat. There's at least 3, 4, 5. 3 is probably finishing the game having given the file to the doctor, which I'm assuming is important and changes something, although I'm afraid it might be that the only thing it changes is like the little text in the ending box. And then I don't know what 4 and 5 would be then. But it is the scene with Greg immediately after this, I believe. So I'm going to keep rolling because that scene is going to be different, or at least have different dialogue because I can tell him I gave the doctor the file. Although I have a feeling the only way it's going to change is that he's just going to say, oh, okay, thanks for doing that. Oh, and I did find, here it is, this one, on the way to Kelly's house. It was in a corner I hadn't looked in. And it's not great. It's kind of creepy. Its face sort of looks like a spy versus spy sort of thing. Half the time you'd be staring at its ass. Just move forward a little. In fact, it looks like it falls behind you anyway, which has annoyed me all 3 times I've seen that. But I guess the wake of it would still be enough to you know, capsize the boat, but the boat being capsized by the wake of that building falling wouldn't necessarily kill the guy. So I think the implication is that the building falls directly on him, but it clearly doesn't.
This is Kelly Austin. She was stranded at the amusement park.
Oh. I see how it is.
Isn't it weird that Karen is jealous of her when she's clearly too young to be like, I'm getting the impression at least that Kelly is like a kid. I mean, not like a child, but clearly not an adult. I don't think Karen needs to worry about her having us being a thing, I mean.
Yeah, I gave it to Dr. Patton.
Cool, thanks.
That's it? Cool, thanks?
I met the editor.
Oh, that's it. All right.
You know him.
Does that affect the ending in any way? Did I do all of this just to get a cool, thanks? Well, this next part we can also do slightly differently.
It's probably a good chance.
Hopefully you're not sick of this game yet, because actually I'm not. In the stadium here,
Let's head to the stadium.
I can do something different where I go with Karen, which I've done before, except it'll be different because we didn't go with her to her house, so she might not like us as much, or maybe the dialogue will be different because of, I don't know, something she and Greg found over there that is different than when we do it. I don't know. I'd like to see if there's any difference. And now I really want to know if that cool thanks is the only thing I get for that file, in which case, wow. But it might affect the ending, like the final ending text box. Okay, Greg, let's go have our male bonding scene, as you call it. Let's go back to Karen. Interestingly, there is no line of dialogue establishing the dog in the backpack if you don't go with her. And now we get to do the part of the game I hate. And I think I'm actually going to stop the recording for this because I highly doubt any of this is different. All right, we're getting to where things might be different. If Greg's file makes any difference at all.
Over here! From this point, you can get over there!
Also, I can't help but wonder why his file was at an amusement park. It's a very odd place for it to have been stored. Why was there a big series of lockboxes at an amusement park?
Okay.
It's just weird. So Greg still dies. Oh, that's actually a nice line from her. All right, now this last scene, since the stuff with Greg wasn't different, this last scene certainly won't because neither of these characters are aware or have any connection to the file we got.
I thank you for giving me a reason to live.
I just realized the perfect music to be playing over this is the main theme from Medal of Honor European Assault, Dogs of War by
Stay with me a while longer.
Christopher Leonards. That would totally elevate this scene. Oh, the perfect thing here for when he grabs the ladder would be the start of One Final Effort from Halo 3. Alright, is there any difference for having done the file? There's an awful lot of trouble to go through just because I accidentally missed it on my second playthrough. Ending 1. Karen and I were rescued by helicopter. I intend to write at my account. Should any mention be made of Karen's uncle? There's no difference. So I went through all that trouble with the file, and it doesn't affect anything, except Greg said, cool, thanks. Huh. So that means I've seen endings 1 and 2. 1's with Karen, 2's with Kelly. 6 is going alone on the boat. 7 is getting on the helicopter. So 3, 4, and 5, I have no idea what those are. I think I'm actually going to have to look that up. Well, anyway, what I was going to show you under special here is now that I have done the game a second time, going to the park, the amusement park, there's a couple photos here that we didn't have before. This one here, keeping warm. This woman is Mr. Stiver's niece. Mr. Stiver is the head of Stiver Control Center. That's, of course, the scene you have if you go with Karen to her house. There are many tall buildings in this area. This was a popular spot before the disaster. Her house was a bit far from the station. Karen's home is next to Harbor Station. I observed that Karen was unable to change her clothes due to a damaged roof. The underground subway was dark, and its damaged ceiling made it dangerous. This may be the defect that caused Stiver Island to sink, and was a key point. And I mispronounced defect there. Defect, I said it like the verb. It's weird, though, because that actually is important. And you don't see it if you don't go with Karen to her house. If you go to the park and meet Kelly and do all that, you miss this whole reservoir thing. And then I think it was this one. That's also a new one. Keith should have kept silent about Kelly's attire. All right. So yeah, there's the new photos you get for having Greg go the other way. What I'm going to do here is I think I'm going to call it good. I played through, I got both the main endings and 2 very bad endings, where I just ditch everybody like a complete prick. And yeah, I had fun. It's a janky game, clearly severely limited by its budget, which is a shame. But despite its jankiness, it's terrible audio. It's exceedingly mediocre graphics. Even for the time, let's keep in mind, I mean, for a PS2 game, this does not look very good. The animation is stiff and the textures and models are very simplistic. The animation is just consistently one of the worst elements of the game. But still, a very different game. I can't say I've really played a game quite like this one, where it's mostly just environmental traversal, and that's about it. In terms of, the challenges and stuff, and there not being combat and such. So a refreshing change of pace. It's got some janky-ass dialogue. It's got terribly paced dialogue where everybody just drags everything out with far too many lines and they take too long to happen. And the slow stiffness of the game is actually quite interesting in its own way, just for being so unnatural and weird. I don't really know why you'd make it that way. Nonetheless, overall, I'm very glad I played this. It's an interesting one. It's going to stand out, I think, in my mind as one of the more unusual PS2 games I think I've ever played, which is no small feat. We can make fun of this game for being low budget and janky, but the fact is, I think this one's going to be quite memorable. I can see this one being burned into my brain as that weird thing I've experienced, and I think that's admirable. I was curious what the other endings are, so I looked it up. Ending 5 is getting on the boat alone, but with Karen in the group. So it's the same abandonment as ending 6, but leaving Karen and William instead of Kelly and William. Endings 3 and 4 are the so-called true endings with Karen and Kelly respectively. Exactly what they are, I don't know, but each involves, I guess, getting the character to like you as much as possible through a very specific set of criteria. Naturally, for Karen, this is things like encouraging her at the start, giving her the umbrella, and several other things, including a few dialogue options I didn't even see because they're triggered by talking to her at very specific points. With Kelly, it's the same idea, a series of things you have to do and say. The other thing is that you apparently have to give them water regularly, which I had no idea the game even wanted me to do because it gives you zero indication that it's necessary. They have no water gauge, they never ask for it, and they never look haggard like they're run down or exhausted. Of course, you could argue that it stands to reason that if I need water, they would too, but I would counter-argue that by saying that logic doesn't necessarily hold with arbitrary game mechanics, and I would expect a mechanic to have some indication of its existence. I would assume that if they needed water, the developers would have put a second water gauge on screen, or at the very least, given them an animation change when they need water, like they slouch over or walk really slowly like they're exhausted, or any feedback at all. Giving the player feedback that something is happening is one of the single most basic principles of game design, so that made me assume that the lack of feedback was evidence of an absence of a mechanic there. I didn't even realize I could give them water until you saw me do it in the amusement park, because I hadn't realized the give option being grayed out was because I wasn't standing close enough. But regardless, the criteria for getting the true endings is so specific that you'll almost certainly not get it playing the game normally, like you'd have to have a guide. One of the things for Kelly is that you have to look in a drawer of hers in her house, then later admit to her that you did. I looked around her house a fair bit and didn't end up coming across whatever drawer that is, and that alone would have prevented me from getting that ending. But, oh well. Just going off of the criteria being stuff that's supposed to make them like me, I'm guessing these endings are some creepy sort of thing where they inexplicably fall in love with Keith or some shit, which frankly, I could do without, so I'm not too bothered I missed them.